Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In this portion of the video, I'm going to walk you through the reason and logic behind the trade I just took. So before we get into that, here's a naked chart, and I want you to try and find your model and what you see here. And pause the video right now and make sure to try find that. So here's the reason and logic behind my trade. I saw that price had taken out key lows here, which is previous day's lows. And you can see that we have space and time between this low and this low, which means that there's liquidity resting underneath there. We can also see that all these impulsive moves up here are inducing longs into the market. So breakout longs here and breakout longs here. Where they're going to place their stop loss? They're going to place their stop loss right below here. So I'm looking at this area as a very good buying opportunity. So if we trade there in an important day, which we had here, I'd expect that to become the low of the week. And we can also see that that's a high probability time of day for it to be the low of the week, since it's in New York. So I waited for price to trade back into the order block, and I took my first buy entry in London here. So on this down candle, I was buying here. I did not record that on TradingView. I was aiming for this imbalance here, but since this week has been very lethargic in price action, it's just been very slow, and I don't know, I just didn't have any willingness for it to hold onto this draw on liquidity, especially with my style of trading. I just want to get in and get out. So I got out here at the end of London's session, and since we had news late in the day, I was expecting that news to create some sort of Judas swing again, and that's why I framed my New York session trade off this subordinate order block. Now with this subordinate order block, this was acting as my draw on liquidity. And the reason behind that is simply because of the market maker buy model. So I'm going to put a picture of the market maker buy model on the screen right now. And I absolutely love the market maker buy model because it gives me so much narrative and framework behind my trades. And I'd say it's probably the most advanced way of viewing market structure once you know the ins and outs of the market maker model. So I took my profit here because we were in London close, and we're going to see that on the lower time frames. And my understanding was that we don't need to see market maker models complete, right? Especially this one, in hindsight, obviously completed, but it completed in the time of day which I wouldn't like it to see complete. So we can see that this is all 16, 17, 18, 9. It's all before Asia, before it completed. And I don't like to hold my trades when I'm sleeping, right? So if you guys don't know, I live in Bangkok. And this for me is around 1 hour pure to midnight. So it's very, very late in the day for me, and I'm happy capturing this low here and this low here for, I'd say, 75 pips for the week. So I don't need to see the market maker model complete. I'm very content with the amount of pips I make, and that's about it. So this is the framework I was using. I was basing my trade off this, making a low of the week. Price should not come here again. First trade is off this order block, since institutional order flow should be bullish again. Second trade off this order block, and I was not expecting a completion of the market maker model, even though we have low resistance, since the news events that we had yesterday really didn't push price and it was acting really lethargic. I think all the focus right now is in the index market. So let's go into the 15-minute chart. Okay, so here we have the 15-minute chart, and this magnet here was basically the draw on liquidity and was the completion of the market maker model. This order block basically acted as the source of price to get towards that draw on liquidity, and I see any swing down counter that draw on liquidity as a failure swing in Judas. So if we take a look closely here, we can see that this is the daily open, and the moment the daily open happened, price was trading lower, 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 counter to what we had to expect price to draw towards, which is this magnet. So I'd say that's a failure swing and that's a Judas swing. I'm looking to take action on this, and the moment we got displacement from that region, I took a long. Okay. Now my second long entry was New York open. So I'm going to bring out the kill zones right now. So I got in London here, exited here, waited for New York kill zone. Since there's news events, I was expecting some pretty deep Judas swing to happen, but I was waiting for price to retrace back into optimal trade entry. So I know there's a fair value gap here and here, but that's just too high in terms of premium and discounts. I want it to become really cheap, and that's why I chose this fair value gap here. Also, I blended that fair value gap with this order block here, and if you blend an order block and a fair value gap together, that's a high probability order block. So you can see that's where I took my long entry, and you can see that's also blended with New York kill zone, which makes that a even better high probability order block. So high probability order blocks are following time theory, and they also have fair value gaps with them. So now let's talk you through how I was managing the trade. Okay. And for that, I'm going to go into the 5-minute. Alright, so now we're in the 5-minute chart. When I expect a low to be in, if price retraces against me, I'm not fearful, because I know that this is just a failure swing. And that's why I drew this line out here in the video, and I'd say I don't want to see this break or the mean threshold, because if the mean threshold did break, then I'd close the trade at break even and just save my risk for another day. We could see that this prevented price from trading lower, and then we expanded higher. Now this was coming up into the end of New York kill zone, and this is when I really wanted to see price shoot and complete that market maker model here. Okay, especially since we had news events as well. I was expecting news events to really push it up into that point, but it just became very lethargic at this premium fair value gap high and low, and that's why you can see me take a partial off here and just full close here. Okay, So I was expecting this order block here to hold price, and it did, and I moved my stop right underneath it. In episode 13 of the YouTube ICT mentorship, ICT talks about how you can use order blocks to manage a trade, and that's how I did it here. I used this order block right here, and I was managing price very aggressively because it was coming very close to London close, and London close for me is profit taken out. So that's how I managed to trade. In hindsight, it did go to my profit target, and am I mad about that? No. I understand that these markets are never going anywhere. They're always going to be moving as long as the banks stay greedy, and they are greedy. So there's always going to be opportunities for me to trade. And just being able to have so much logic and reasoning behind my trades gives me the comfortability and clarity and certainty that I can do this again and again and again. So even if I do miss this move here, I still profited from this low to this high, from this low to this high, and I can just rinse and repeat that when it's high probability. And when that's high probability for me is when I'm entering in a kill zone, such as London kill zone or New York kill zone, and I'm exiting during kill zone as well. And personally, for me, as a trader, and because of my time zones, I don't like holding trades overnight when I'm sleeping. It just makes me check my phone in the morning or in the middle of the night, and it doesn't blend well with me. So I like to get in and get out, take my little scalps, and I'm good. And last of all the concepts found here belong to my mentor, the Inner Circle Trader. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, make sure to subscribe to his channel right now. And also, leave a like and comment on this video, and tell me if you want to see more of these walkthroughs. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will catch you in the next one.